What's going on, Dodgers Nation? Doug McCain here. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. For all things Dodger baseball, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you want to see us post even more Dodgers videos, smash that like button. Tell all your friends that are Dodger fans to check out the channel. Would appreciate that. And as always, I want your takes down below in the comments section. Today's Dodgers Nation question of the day. Do you think the Dodgers would seriously consider non-tendering Cody Bellinger? Should they non-tender Cody Bellinger? I want all your takes down below in the comments section. And for all latest Dodgers news, head over to DodgersNation.com. So it's been a frustrating year for Cody Bellinger, to say the least. And we knew heading into this season, after he underwent shoulder surgery in the offseason, that it was going to take some time for him to get that power back in his shoulder, for him to find his swing and get his rhythm back. And then on top of that, he suffered a hairline fracture on April 5th, the fourth game of the season, and was on the IL until May 29th. So injuries have been a factor. Well, that's obvious. There's no question about it. And if you look at his numbers, he's been one of the least productive players in Major League Baseball this year. So far this season, he's slashing 161, 240, 295, has a 48 WRC+. Just to put that into context, his MVP season in 2019, he was slashing 305, 406, 629 with a 162 WRC+. So that is a big drop off from an MVP All-Star to one of the least productive players in the league. And since he's come back from that IL stint, he's slashing 154, 229, 285 with a 43 WRC+, a negative .9 WAR, 9 home runs, and a 27.3 strikeout rate. So these numbers are bad, but I think there is a little hope for Cody Bellinger. Tomorrow I'm going to drop a video about his new stance and how that's helping him out. Well, since he's introduced that new stance on September 11th, he's hitting 214, has an on-base of 389. He's slugging 357, a 103 WRC+. He's 3 for 14. And most importantly, 0 strikeouts in 14 at-bats. And what really blows my mind is Cody Bellinger, a guy that has that light tower power, he hasn't ran into one in his last 93 plate appearances. He hasn't hit a bomb in his last 93 trips to the plate. He hasn't homered since August 11th when he hit those 2 jacks against the Philadelphia Phillies in the city of brotherly love. So we thought that that was his breakout game, that he was going to take off after that, but it hasn't been the case. Now, the question today is, with Cody Bellinger's struggles, would the Dodgers consider non-tendering him in the offseason? Well, first, some of you have asked me, what does it mean to non-tender a player? Well, I'll tell you. If a team chooses to non-tender a player, that team is choosing not to give him a contract for next season, and that player immediately becomes a free agent. Players might be non-tendered for several reasons, like if their club thinks the raise they'll get in arbitration would exceed their value on the field, or if it wants to clear a space on the 40-man roster. So is Cody Bellinger really a non-tender candidate for the Dodgers this offseason? Well, today on MLB Network, Jon Morosi, he talked about the possibility of the Dodgers actually considering non-tendering the former MVP.
Not too far from now, there was going to come that very difficult conversation about his role in the organization long term. Now, he has 2 years before free agency after this year, but one has to ask a question that we never thought we were going to ask, which is it a certainty that he is going to be tendered a contract for 2022 given the depths of his struggles this season? And now I checked with some sources around the game this morning. The expectation is still, when you consider the Dodgers' resources, their overall payroll situation, you would have to expect he will be tendered a contract this winter, and they'll put a lot of resources into trying to find a way to get that swing right. The upside is too high, and the explanation with the shoulder is too straightforward. They get him healthy, maybe it's a better offseason for him. The numbers could bounce back. But Lauren, you look at that, 87 games this year and an average of 159. It's just, none of it really makes sense. If this were a different team, I did hear this from an executive this morning, if this were almost any other team without the resources and the payroll the Dodgers have, you would have a very serious question about if he would actually be tendered a contract. But when you consider where they're at right now, they probably could. They have the luxury of being able to let Corey Seager walk if they want to and then put Trey Turner at shortstop. But then again, where's the money to sign Scherzer if you want to bring him back, which of course they probably do. At some point in time, Urias gets a long-term contract. Buehler as well. They've got to spend some money to keep this team together. And at this point in time, Lauren, there's some very real questions. But again, I would say still a better chance than not that he's a Dodger in 2022. But he really has to prove some things here in the next several weeks to come and also into the offseason as well.
So look, in most cases, on most teams, Cody Bellinger would be a prime non-tender candidate. This year, he made $16.1 million. Next year, let's say that number drops down to $13 or $14 million. Considering what he did this season, that wouldn't make a lot of sense, but this is the Los Angeles Dodgers. They drafted, they developed Cody Bellinger. They know what he's capable of when he's fully healthy. So let's say Cody Bellinger entered this season 100% healthy, and he was still putting up these numbers. Then maybe you consider doing it. But if you're the Dodgers, you realize he has a couple years of arbitration left. He won't hit free agency until his age 28 season a few years from now. And I think he's worth the risk. I think it's worth bringing him back to see if, when healthy, if he can replicate the success that he had in 2019 or even in 2018 or his rookie season. In my opinion, I think Cody Bellinger is really a 30 to 35 home run guy that hits around 265. To me, that's kind of who he is. And when you combine that with elite defense, you've got yourself an all-star player, and that's what the Dodgers want in Cody Bellinger. Now, they do have some guys they're going to need to pay this offseason if they want to bring them back. Guys like Corey Seager, he's the big ticket item. And then there's Max Scherzer. Then there's Chris Taylor. So there's other guys out there, too, they're going to need to pay. So that's another thing they'll consider. But this is the Los Angeles Dodgers. This is the franchise that is likely going to make another deep run. They could win another World Series. You know they print money. They lead the league in attendance. And I still think Cody Bellinger is worth bringing back. They're going to need to tender him a contract. It could get interesting how it works out when you look at the numbers based on what he did this season. But you have to consider those injuries, and you know they played a big role. And we'll see how he finishes the year. We'll see the success that he's going to have with that new stance. Maybe he turns it on, he catches fire. Maybe he has a big moment in the postseason. So I don't think his year is a complete wash as of yet. He still has some time to contribute to this run. Me, I still believe in Belli. I'm still a Belli-ever in the long run. We just need to find a way to get his swing right and get him healthy. But let me know down below in the comments section. Do you think the Dodgers should non-tender Cody Bellinger? Do you think they'll seriously consider it? And what kind of player do you think he really is? Who is the real Cody Bellinger? I said 265, 30 to 35 home runs and elite defense. Let me know down below in the comments section. My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DMac_LA. For all things Dodger baseball, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you want to see us post even more Dodgers videos, smash that like button. For latest Dodgers Nation merch, head over to gearup.la. Download the Dodgers Nation app for my Android and iPhone users. For latest Dodgers news, head over to DodgersNation.com. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.